Good evening, Ruth here. Welcome back to 7 Days to Die, to the Gameplay Basic series. So we are now in the game, first day, first thing in the morning. What we're going to do is make a run to a town which is right over here, do the basic tutorial quests, which you'll see in the top right hand corner. The purpose of this episode is just going to be to find a place to live. We only have 30 minutes until the first night time, so want to get a place, get it basic setup so we can go into some more things in detail. So first thing you'll do is go through your quests. These are your basic survival quests. If you do have multiple quests, they'll be listed down the side here. You can click on the quest you want and then click here to make it active, which will put it into the top right hand corner. You bring up this menu by hitting the tab key. You go through your crafting menu, your character pane where you can see all the gear that you're wearing. These are your core stats, your health, stamina, number of times you've died, zombies you've killed, things like that. Extended stats if you're interested in that. You can go to your map, check out your skills. We'll do that in another video. These are your quests and journal entries here. So these are just things that will give you a basic understanding about what they are. So water, why is it important? Infection, first aid. As you read them, they lose their little yellow tag. I'm just going to go through and click them all so I don't have the shiny little yellow thing up here. And then the players tab, if you're playing multiplayer, you'll have them listed down here. And you want to click party and ally. Ally means that automatic weapons like gun turrets that you put down won't attack them. But if you put them in a party, you'll get them over on your left-hand side over here, a health bar and an arrow and distance. And then on your compass across the top, you'll also see an arrow pointing to where they are. So very handy to know where your friends are. So I'm just going to go through, do these quests. Plant fibers, a bunch of the plants here. If you are doing a quest that requires you to craft something, it will be highlighted at the top with the exclamation mark. Just going to put all this. When you move something out to place it, left click will rotate it around, right click will place it. I'm going to pick that up because we don't want to respawn back here. So my next quest, I have to gather wood and small stone to go with my plant fiber. The next quest is more plant fiber stuff, so I'm just going to grab a few more. Now all these plants here, all the grasses, they only give you plant fiber. If you want wood, you got to punch a tree. Until you can craft an axe, or you find an axe, you're punching trees, which takes a very long time. So 4 hits will get you 1 piece of wood. That's my other bit of wood. Or you can look for these plants here. Punch them, get you a couple of wood each. Saves you a lot of time. Now we need stones. Stones you can find on the road, grass. They are different sizes and shapes. This is the smallest one, and that's the biggest one there. There's a couple of other ones from memory, but rock's a rock. Once you get a pickaxe or a stone axe, you can then find these big ones here and chop them. And you'll get stone a lot quicker that way. Should have enough to craft these. In your crafting menu, you can use your mouse and you can click on the item here, or you can hit the hotkey next to it. So, click that, W, you only want one of them. When you are crafting things, put that on. Wooden club. I'll cover that point in just a second. So I believe it's the next quest. Wood. So this is just the basics crafting. It is pretty straightforward. I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I'm just assuming that if you're watching this, you've got a general idea of how to play a survival style game. But if not, leave it in the comments. I can cover it in a lot more detail, so no stress on that. Next one is the bow and the arrows. Actually need some feathers, which you'll find from birds' nests. They are fairly common, except when you're looking for them. A great biome to find birds' nests in is the snow biome. Because the snow biome doesn't have all the grass and it's a white background, so birds' nests stand out pretty quickly. Of course, I cannot find a single bird's nest. There's one. So that's what a bird's nest looks for. We'll just loot that. Feathers and eggs. You won't always get eggs, but you'll pretty much always get feathers. Because we're playing on non-loot respawn, I'm going to chop these up for some extra feathers. So I'm not going to be able to loot it again later. Alright, now we're going to craft the bow. As many arrows as we can. Now for things that you want to craft on a regular basis, this is the point I was getting to earlier. Use your search bar to find it. You can click on your stone arrow and you can favorite it. Then anytime you want to find them, click on your favorites here. Anything you favorited will be listed here. It can save you a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes if you forgot what it's called. You can search through the common things here. Building blocks, resources, weapons, tools, food, sciencey stuff, clothes, and furniture. But generally, you're going to find it's a lot faster to just type it in. It'll list anything that has that in it. Max in. Need more feathers. So your tool belt down the bottom. Best to have it set up in such a way as you can get to what you need quickly, because you don't want to be scrolling your mouse wheel or looking for your number buttons to alternate between them. So I generally always have my weapons at first, and then I have the tools further back, and then the healing and whatever at the back of it. So if I am in hand-to-hand combat, I can quickly go to the very back and apply a bandage. We need frames. Now, wood frame blocks are probably one of the most beneficial tools or items you can get, just because you can do so much with them. It's going to get a bit more wood. Loot this while I'm here. Now, anything that you can loot, you will see on the end of it untouched in brackets. That just means that no one has opened it before. If you open it and you don't loot anything, it still disappears. So if you go into a house, you're playing on a multiplayer server, as an example, you go into a house and you see that everything in the kitchen doesn't have untouched after it, it's a pretty good chance that someone's come through and they've cleared the entire house out. So it just saves you a little bit of time having to go through. Zombies do respawn, so all the zombies will still be there, but the loot won't be. Those bloodbacks will give us rotting flesh, which is really good to make farm plots, and bones. Bones are really handy because they will get you a bone knife. Once you've got a bone knife, whenever you skin something or chop a dead body up, you'll get more resources from it. There's our first zombie down there, another one there. So what we're going to do is head towards the city and find a place that we want to move into. And then we'll do the next lot of the quest. There's a big church up there. What we're looking for in our first house is a solid wall. You don't want to be having a home base. If you're going to use a POI, that's made out of timber, because then you've got to go through and upgrade everything to make it last. Why don't we make this our first zombie kill? So hand to hand, what I tend to do, see when you get close to them, they do their animation for attacking. Once they start that animation, they can't stop it. So you can just walk in, swing, step back, avoid their swing altogether. The only time this becomes a bit of an issue is if you're in a house, you're surrounded, you can't step back, or a zombie has come up behind you. But particularly if you area in a house like these walls. You walk in, there's a zombie here, but right here is a bookcase or something. You can't step back in time, and then you've got to try and get out, and you'll probably get hit. So just be careful when you do your looting. Now this is all brick. It's got 1200 health. Timber, which is your first type of construction material, only has 200. When you upgrade it to reinforced timber, it adds another 200 to it. When you get to flagstone, it goes up to 500 health. Cobblestone goes up to 1200 health. Cement is the next one. That's 2000. Zombie. It's over there. And brick, this one here, what I say was 1200, yeah. 2,500, that's your reinforced concrete. And you will find that a lot of these POIs have just been painted. It might not actually, reinforced concrete doesn't look like that, but they've painted it to look a little bit different. So something that might look like timber in a POI could actually be made of reinforced concrete. So this house here is fairly sturdy. Let's see what the front of it looks like, because... Oh yeah, no, I've been in that POI. Now, some zombies will actually attack fairly quickly, so you want to start your swing before you actually get to them. So as the swing is coming in, it's connecting rather than you walk in and then swing, because if they attack quickly, they'll get you before you get them. Cement mixer. Yeah, I've been in this house before, only doing quests though. It's a destroyed cement mixer, so cement mixers are one of the stations. It's 5:32, I have to be quick on that. Cement mixers are some of the stations that you'll be using to craft things. In this case, cement. You'll put in there, concrete. You'll put cement in there, which you'll either loot, buy, or craft in a forge. You'll also add in sand and stone. This here is a big pile of sand, and there are stone. Chuck them into a working cement mixer will give you concrete, which you can then upgrade stuff with. This place here is far too big to be turning into a house early game. That one I don't mind, because it is stone. Church is also all stone. It's daycare centre. So as we're getting to 6 p.m. Now that's the big church. That's going to take a while to loot out. Ideally, you wouldn't want to be going in there at this time of night on a half-hour day to try and loot it out. But what you could do is get your trusty wood frame. When you put a wood frame down and you go to place another one, you'll see it's red. You can't place it there. But if you jump, and at the peak of your jump, you place it down, you can do what's called nerd polling. Now you have to be careful because wood frames only have about 100 health. If you're nerd polling up and said zombie over there runs over here and attacks it, you can lose your footing, fall all the way down, break your leg, and get into a bit of trouble. So if you were going to climb up here, make yourself a temporary home for the night, what you would do is put your nerd pole starting as close to the base as you can, nerd pole up. I'm just going to drop down here. Dropping down from a height of about 6 blocks will sprain your leg, and then I think it's 7 or 8 blocks will break your leg. That's not something that you want early game. But if you build your node pole up, every 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks, put another frame that connects to the wall. That way, if they do take out the base, you're still supported by that wall connection. So that's what we're going to do tonight. You have to watch your stamina usage with power attacks. It's down. So with a hand-to-hand, when you left-click, you do a normal swing. You can see the stamina usage drops from 100, bottom left corner, the blue bar, down to about 84. Swinging multiple times, you can run out of stamina, but it'll take a while. Build up, now do a power attack, drops down to 76. Once you're out of stamina, you can't attack. If you're in a zombie's face and you're power attacking, you get one of the big zombies that can take several hits, and you're not hitting them in the head where they're most vulnerable, it can take more hits than you have stamina for. The problem with that is then you can't run, and you're moving slower than your normal walking speed, about crawling speed. So going into stealth, that's about the speed you'll be moving at when you're out of stamina and there's zombies wailing on you. So keep an eye on your stamina. It's better to back away, save that last hit or two, and then come back with full stamina than to risk it and end up dead. Loot bag. These don't drop very often. I've got no idea what the percentage would be, but I'd guess somewhere around 20-ish%. When they do drop, pick them up. They don't last forever, but they will last, a good, say, 10 minutes or so, maybe longer. I've never really timed it, I just pick them up straight away. Some nice loot here, ammunition for shotgun, 7.62s and 9mm, and some cat food. Yummy. Okay, nothing really worthwhile here. We're going to nerd pole up to the top. And I'm just going to get a bit more wood. So some buildings like this church, you can go through, go straight to the top, and then take out the ladders or stairs that are underneath the top level. That way zombies can't get to you. If a zombie can't get to you, it will just start to destroy anything around that's keeping them from you. So the walls, any kind of support structure, you don't want to be on a floor above a zombie or a horde of zombies and they just start taking the walls out, because your whole floor will come down. It's a little bit loud, so turn that down a little bit for me. Cover that in a second, the durability. Try and take out this little girl. So I will generally wait until the zombie gets back up, just so I can guarantee a hit on the head. So what I did there is I went in while it was still getting up, and I mistimed it. Instead of getting in the head, I got somewhere around the shoulders, chest kind of area. So I had to put a third power attack in. Use that more stamina. If there were more zombies around, that could leave me a little bit more susceptible to stamina issues. Okay, I think I'm going to make my nerd pole up the top. This here is your iron. 600 health. Okay, it's now nighttime. Zombies are running. I am going to climb my way up in the corner. This one will do. What you want to look out here is, because blocks take up, anything inside a block takes up a whole block. So that little lip there, I will not be able to place a block if I went right up to the side. Just going to put a supporting block there. If they take that bottom one out, this block here will keep me from falling. Now I use my torch. So I can't put that up there. I can't put a block there because this little beam here across the top of the roof takes up that whole block space. So when you're jumping up and putting a block, as you jump up, you might put the block in such a position that causes you to fall off. So just be careful about what you do there. Now these wood frames, they're not just cubes. If you hold down the R key, you'll bring up your radial menu here. We'll get into these bits a little bit later, but I'm going to use the shape menu here and then pick the shape that I want it to be. So I'm just going to go with a wood plate. If you shift click on it, it will select it and drop you away. That way I can put a wood plate here and walk across. I'm going to take my torch. I'm going to hit control and go into stealth mode. That way zombies won't hear me until I get really close. And if they can't hear me, I can use my bow and I can shoot them in the head and kill them. When you're in stealth, you also have an attack multiplier. So you can take them out with one shot if you get a headshot. I need to get up there. Right there is a vulture. Zombie vultures are nuisances because they will hide up on roofs. When you get into a later game, you'll get the radiated or mutated vultures, and they will spit acid at you. So real pain. If you're riding one of the vehicles, so the push bike, the mini bike, or the motorbike, and you go through the burnt biome, which is where they typically call home, they will follow you all the way through the biome and beyond. They just won't give up. One good hit power attack with a club will take them out, but if you can load your bow up, zoom in, you can sneak damage them and take them out. Now, I can see here, there's a big Hawaiian zombie there. He will take headshots with this club, probably about 6 power attacks. He's a big boy. The big lady down there, she's probably about 4 power attacks to the head with a level 1 club. The biker guy, he's got a helmet on. He'll take about 6, just like the big guy there. That dead zombie down there is not an actual zombie. It's just an asset, a decoration. So I want to get up there. I can't get there. I would have to go around here, work my way up, and go across this beam. There is a gap there. What I can do, go into my favorites, which I did not favorite. Good friends. Give me 10 of them. Now I could put blocks and jump up, or I can go to my shape menu and pick a ramp. Now while they are still frames, you can pick them back up. I've got a frame there, pick it back up. That noise, I'm not sure if you can hear it or not, the screeching, that's a special zombie called a, I don't know if the devs actually call it a spider zombie or it's just, that's what people call it, but it's a spider zombie. And it has a special attack where when it gets fairly close, maybe 7 or 8 blocks, it will jump at you. So you can easily step out of the way of that if you have the stamina. There is a block there. Move that. Don't really trust that one. Oh, there we go. 2 of them. And I'm now infected, so I've got sprained leg. I don't know how they sprained my leg, they were hitting me in the head, but still. And I'm mildly infected. Infections are really bad, they will kill you. It's going to gradually work its way up. The only way to treat it is with honey, which you can find by chopping down. You've got your full-grown trees, and then you've got these tree stumps. They're about a meter off the ground. When you chop them with your axe, there is a chance, guess somewhere around 25% chance, that you'll get a jar of honey. Use the honey, and it will cure about 10% of an infection. So once this gets up over 10%, honey will not completely cure you. Once it reaches 0, you're cured, but if you get to 0.1%, it will continue to build itself back up. Antibiotics, I can't remember off the top of my head, it's like 50%. Antibiotics will pretty much save your life if you're on death's door with them. So yeah, that's vultures. They do sneak up on you. Now the body is over there. I can use another one down there. My bone knife. This will get me some feathers, some bones, some rotten flesh, and XP. Now I don't think I'm going to stay in this house for long. This is just because we ran out of time. So my favorite home, so you will have, well, the preferred method of playing this is you will have a home base where you store everything, all your loot, all your crafting stations, everything will be stored in that. and then you will also have a horde base. So for anyone who doesn't know, like myself, when I first started playing this, every 7 days you've got the horde night. Horde night is a real nuisance because the zombies will know exactly where you are and they will come after you. If you are in your home base, it's nearly morning, 4 a.m. If you're in your home base when the horde comes, the zombies will wreck your home. You could end up losing everything. You can die in there. They can, if you're on a multi-level building, they can take out the foundations and destroy your house if you're not fully prepared. They can destroy your loot chests, so you lose all the loot in them, your crafting stations. It's a really bad idea to do horde night in your home base unless you are experienced and you're fully catered to do it. I would suggest if you were experienced enough to do that, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. So we'll just say from experience, it's best not to do it. Now, this is going to be the loot room. Check for any zombies. Most big POIs will have a room, even a lot of smaller POIs, but not all of them, will have a dedicated room for this. You'll find all the best loot here. Now, that is a hardened chest and it's locked. We're not going to be picking that because we don't have any picks, and we're not going to be punching our way through it because it's got 10,000 health. That we'll have to come back for when we get some lockpicks. But we're going to open up all these crates. And I'll take the water now. Golden Rod tea is handy as well. So we're going to stay here for a couple of days. Generally, I will spend my first week in a house, store everything into it, keep that there, whilst I get a horde base up and ready. And then after the first horde night, I'll go back to Painkiller. Temporary storage. Need all this on me. Need one of them. Blunderbuss are very slow to reload. You basically want to use it as your first shot because they have such short range, shorter range than a shotgun, and even the snub nose, the sawn-off double barrel. So use it as a point-blank range shot, and then change weapons. Don't reload a blunderbuss in hand-to-hand combat, which is the range that you need to be in for them. Third blunderbuss. So you can go in here, click on it, and it will give you all your stats. Effective range, 5 blocks. That is really close. Go into a bow. It doesn't actually have a range. I think it's the arrows. No. There you go. Blunderbuss, very, very short range. A sawn-off shotgun has, I think, a range of 6. And then it's about 8 for a normal pump-action shotgun. So, very slow reload. In early game, you can have a whole bunch of them. Put multiples in your tool belt if you like. Just don't go reloading them in hand-to-hand combat. So they're now both loaded and ready to go. I am going to put my bedroll down. So now if I die, that's where I'm going to respawn. I can dump a bunch of this stuff in here. Now you can make storage, but you may as well make use of these. Put in there. Painkillers, that's your healing, but when you do take them, you get 40 health, but you'll also lose 40 of your water. So that can be a nuisance, but also life-saving. That. Where's that? Haven't got any guns for that yet. Don't need that. these buttons across the top, they enable you to sort things. So the first one here is your sort. It'll just put everything into here. And then with this one, if I had shotgun shells here, I can hit that one and it will move any shotgun shells that I have, or anything in here that also matches in here. So you can just put in the stuff that's in there. So you will find, well, the way I play anyway, I'll have a crate for each different thing. So a crate for ammunition, a crate for weapons, a crate for raw resources, first aid supplies, all that kind of stuff. I can run up to a crate, open it, hit that button, and it will put everything in there which is already there. This one here will move everything into it, same as the loot all, but it moves everything into the box. So let's head down here. Ladder's going to be a little bit weird, so let's give you the demonstration of that. Walk up to the ladder, and as soon as you feel yourself dropping down a little bit, then turn around and face the ladder. If you do it the other way, you can just fumble around for a while. If you go down like this, well, it worked fine that time. It's just easier to go around the other way. As soon as you feel a drop, then pop down. You can also craft hay bales. If you take out some of your ladders, put a floor of hay bales here, and then just drop down from this hole without a ladder, you won't break a leg if you go past your 8 blocks. The hay bale will cushion your fall. It does have a limit. I can't remember what that is off the top of my head, but don't, have like a 100-block drop onto hay bales. Alright, we need to get back down. It's on this side. Don't fall down into the church. When you are quickly picking them up, don't be too quick on it, because you can spam your pickup key and fall a long way and break a leg. Found that out first-hand experience. I put 1 block here, but that's where I'm going up. Okay, I'm going to upgrade that block actually, because that will complete this quest. Other small stones. I can run around and just pick up small stones, or I can look for a big rock, like that one over there. Something closer, no, that one is. Right. There are a few more stones over here. You will get glancing blows, which is what that one was. A lot of hand-to-hand weapons, you can swing next to the zombie, so if it was standing up and I swung over here and did a power attack, the power attack would do a glancing blow and hit the zombie. Not for full damage, it's a percentage of the damage. Vitamins, disease resistant, cure fatigue, duration. Yeah. I don't recall ever actually using vitamins. Vitamins used to cure dysentery, but they don't anymore. There, and make myself a campfire. We have to place it as well. Shoot back up there. Actually out of stamina now as well. Gonna wrap this up in a minute because I don't want these episodes to be super long. A good tip is to not put a campfire down on the ground, because if it's on and you walk over it, you'll get caught on fire. Put it on top of a box. So I can chuck some wood in here. Tools, we'll cover that in the next episode. But I'm going to wrap this one up now. Okay, so that was just a basic first day of survival. Depending on your day length, will dictate how quickly you need to find yourself a house. You saw 30-minute days. It doesn't take long while you're particularly learning how to play the game, figuring out what things are, how to craft things. You can run out of daylight really quickly and then find yourself with zombies running around you with just a wooden club or maybe a bow. So just be quick, find yourself a house, clear it out, make yourself some reinforced walls just to protect where you're living. Get a good food source going. You're not going to have a farm on day one, but it is important to have a steady supply of food and water. If you can make your house near a water supply, it doesn't have to be a river or a lake pond. It can just be a swimming pool in someone's backyard. Don't have to be in there, just close by. You can take your empty jars there, fill them up, take them back to your house, chuck them on the campfire, and get yourself some fresh water. If you are short on food and water, you're going to find your stamina usage, your stamina regeneration is going to be quite poor. You're going to run out of stamina very quick, and you're not going to get it back in time, and you're going to just find yourself overwhelmed. Food will dictate how much health you've got. If you're low on food, you're going to find your health is going to be reduced, the maximum. Keep that up. Have bandages on supply in case you get bleeding. There is a lot of stuff to remember, so I'm going to cut it there because we could talk about this for a long time, but we'll try and do it gradually as we experience things. So I'll leave it here. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this series is going to be useful for new players. Hopefully we'll get to some tips that might be handy for experienced players before Alpha 20 comes out. But let me know any comments, anything that you want me to cover in the videos. I'll try and get to them as well. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you do, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.